Hello, friends and readers. We are working with poetry, and what we are doing with poetry is we are referring to parts of our poems. Um, we're thinking about the speaker, we're thinking about the stanzas, the verses, the lines, and how each stanza builds on the next part of the poem in the next stanzas. So we have our poem, Little Puppy from the Navajo. When we look at this, we can see that our poem has two stanzas. One stanza here and one stanza here. A stanza, again, is a group of lines. When we look at this, we can see that we might have some rhyming words, we might not, we'll find out. And we're going to think about who the speaker is in this poem. So I'm going to read it to you, and then we're going to discuss. Little puppy with black spots, come and herd the flock with me. We will climb the red rocks, and from the top we'll see the tall cliffs and straight cliffs where the eagles live. We'll see the dark rocks, the smooth rocks that hold the rain to give us water when we eat our bread and meat when the sun is high. So, this poem is about a boy who is herding his flock of sheep, and he uses his dog to help him do this. Not only do we have our poem, but we also have an image that goes along with it that helps us visualize what is happening in this poem. When we look at stanza 1, the speaker and the dog climb the red rocks and they go straight up. We refer to an eagle, so it helps us know that it's really, really high. Because when we think about eagles, we think about them soaring through the sky. In this cliff that they have climbed must be very tall as well. In stanza 2, they will see the dark rocks that hold water from them. So they're seeing out across the earth and seeing different things as they look over. When we look at the whole poem, we're thinking about how the earth provides people and animals with different things. This poem is written by a Navajo boy. Yes, there is a dog in the poem. Yes, there are sheep in the poem. Yes, they refer to an eagle. But when we read it, we can tell that it's talking about the perfect person in the story. Little puppy with the black spots, come and herd the flock with me. We will climb the red rocks. The me is the boy who is speaking. When we look at that, we can know that that's who is telling the poem as they're speaking. When we look at what do the dark rocks make the speaker think of, we look in stanza 2. We'll see the dark rocks, the smooth rocks that hold the rain that give us water when we eat our bread and meat when the sun is higher. So the poet who's writing this is thinking about the land that is around him. When we look at poems, we make connections to the world around us and different things we've experienced. So in this case, our poet is thinking about how they're up high, and he's thinking about when they're down below, they're normally eating bread and meat and living their lives the way they do. So when we look at poems, we want to think about all the different parts that go along with what we're doing. So when we're reading, we want to think about what we can envision in our mind. We want to think about the parts of the poems, like the verses and the stanzas, and what really the author, or poet in this case, is trying to tell us. So read this poem and enjoy.